Hello and namaste everyone. Thank you very much for taking time to tune in. Hope you're all having a very interesting holiday season this year. It's been obviously a year of contradictions, and we are all hoping for a miracle to happen in our lives. We are hoping that some kind of change comes into our lives. We are hoping that we can come back to the happiness that we kind of seem to always have had. And also, we are all wanting to bounce back with that energy and lead the life the way we used to live before the COVID. But let's dissect these three things. We all want change right now. We all want to go back to that state of happiness. And we all want to have that energy no matter what happens in our lives, right? But yet we miss all those during these COVID times. We are all hoping that today would be the end of COVID because the 2020 is coming to an end. We are hoping that 2021 would bring something new, something dramatic in our lives. But let's try to understand, is time really changing? Is there really a 2020, 2021 and 2022? Let's try to understand the concept of time. Do you know that on Earth, our day lasts for 24 hours? Which of course we know is dependent on the cycles of sun. And if you just go one planet ahead, which is Mars, do you know the day is 25 hours long there? And in fact, if you go to Venus, a day lasts for about 5,000 hours. So this whole concept of day and the amount of time that we have is really an illusion because it keeps changing depending on where you are. And of course, with the scientific advancement that we all have today, we want to live on other planets. So what is 24 hours for us? It's going to be 10 hours for someone who is living on Jupiter. Did you see that? This whole time is really a myth. In fact, if we dig a little bit deeper, this time is created by our mind. Do you remember a situation in your life where you're racing for time because your mind is going so fast? When your mind keeps going very fast, you feel that the time is running out. Let's say you got to catch a flight and you're in a rush to get to the airport. It almost feels like every second is moving like an hour. But then, let's say you're watching a sunset, very calm and quiet, and you're just observing that beautiful pink, orange rays dipping into the ocean or behind the mountain. And it almost feels like the time is dragged. It almost feels like eternal. And these are the experiences that we go through as normal people. It doesn't have to be someone who's doing some spiritual practices of meditation or some other kinds of higher states of consciousness. This is just for ordinary people like you and me who are living in a normal world. But yet, we go through these surreal experiences of time in completely different opposites. At one time, it almost every second feels like an hour. On the other hand, every hour feels like just a flash of a second. In fact, all of us who do deep states of meditation, we also feel the same, that time is just illusionary. It is something that mind has created. Yes, we have the sun, we have the solar system, but as we just said, even that time varies from on what planet you are. So you will realize that the only time that is real is the present moment. We all want things to change. We all want the world to change. We all think that the vaccine is going to come and completely change the world. Well, today it is COVID. Tomorrow it is some other act. Day after, another act. Another variable, another invisible enemy, another visible enemy. These are things that never stop. The world around is constantly changing, and we try to change that world, which is, I think, a very difficult task. How much aspect of the world can you really control? What aspect of this universe can you actually change? In fact, as you dig deeper, You will realize the only thing that can be changed is you. 2020 to 2021, that little change, that flip of a second in the midnight is not going to do anything in your life unless we bring the change within ourselves. We all want the world to change. We all want our family members to change. We all want the society to change. We all want our co-workers to change, our bosses to change. So many changes that we all aspire for. We want the COVID situation to change. But that change is possible only when you change. In fact, the change that comes from within is what empowers you, not the change that happens outside. When you are ready to face the changes in the external world by adapting, by evolving from within and changing to the situations and circumstances, that is where the power comes from. So we have now understood that the change is possible only within you and in the present moment. You cannot change the past. You cannot change the future because past is gone. It is dead. Future, you don't know what's going to happen. But in this moment, we can take care of this body and mind. In fact, the only thing that you can ever control in this world is you. It is a real myth to think that you can change someone or you can control someone else's life or you can control outside circumstances. The only thing that you can ever control is your body and your mind. So my dear friends, as we move on from this mythical 2020 to 2021, let's come to the reality. The reality that the change can happen only with you. When you can empower your body and mind with good health, good nutrition, good exercise, good balance in life, pursuing your goals, your passions, revealing your highest potential, then the change will happen. And number two, this year has been again an year of contradictions where we have seen our loved ones leave us drastically, suddenly, in a flash of a time. And we have also seen loved ones coming together because of the restrictions, because of the restrictions that we have due to the COVID situation. I've heard from many families that the bonding between their members, family members, has grown by multitude of times. But of course, on the other hand, many of us have lost the loved ones. So this year has been a year of mixed feelings and mixed emotions. A few facing anxiety, worry, stress, loss of jobs, economy crashing, loss of businesses, unemployment rising. All of these have created so much of stress and emotional turmoil in many of us, within our own friends and families. And of course, there are some who have gained from this. But we all have gone through a roller coaster ride of emotions. Yet, we all aspire for that one emotion, which is that happiness and that contentment within. My dears, this year also taught us an amazing lesson of resilience, of gratitude, of introspection, of reflection, of adaptation. Did you see? In spite of all these other negative stuff that we have gone through, it also helped us evolve into better people. It has given us time to reflect on what is right, what is wrong, what is important, what is not important. And in fact, all of us yearn for that state of contentment and bliss. Remember, dears, we all come into this world with that simple contentment or the state of bliss. As that pure, innocent child, as we enter into this world, the mother holding us in her arms, the bliss that we enjoy, that first few years of life, we lose it soon because of our ignorance, because of so many changes in our body, in our mind, because of the hormones, because of the changes. So many things are happening. But in my journey, I have realized we can always go back to that beautiful, blissful state that we came into this world, but yet perform the duties in this world with immense potential and passion. But unfortunately, many of us are forgetting that subtle, peaceful, calm, serene bliss. Bliss is our true nature, in fact. But yet, we go through this roller coaster ride of emotions, which eventually lead to a lot of illness, sickness. Dears, we all can still maintain that subtle state of bliss, and that is exactly what we do in our Sukshma program at our Peace Tree Innovation Society, helping many regain that balance, go back to that state of pure bliss and harmony within, that oneness within, and that with oneness we can become one with everyone out there so that we can reveal our potential. And last but not the least, many of us are struggling to find that energy. We are all suffering. Because of that suffering, we have low states of energy. We are all trying to find that one point where we can take a leap and go into the future and bounce back. We are all waiting for that force, that energy. Yes, there is energy at a physical level, but if you want to tap into that infinite source, that life force, you got to tap into that source. That source is your Sukshma. Sukshma is that subtlest of the subtle state that we all have. But we forgot to tap into that because our lifestyles have become so busy, so chaotic, so stressful. Lack of sleep, lack of rest, which eventually leads to ill health. So if you want to tap into that real force, you need to get in touch with that source. And many people tap into that source. In fact, we started this year with the COVID, and as Peace Tree, we have offered many programs online on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, where thousands across the globe have taken advantage of these programs. And we will continue to share those programs with you as we move forward. Thank you all for your support, and we will continue to work with you. We are always there, so please reach out anytime from any part of the world. We are here to support you. We from Peace Tree, Sukshmas of the universe, all the friends and families, and of course the ancient Sage Sunita Amma is sending pure divine Sukshma vibrations for you all to heal from whatever situation you are. Don't wait for another year. Don't wait for something else to happen. You become that change. You can bring that change. You become that force by connecting to that source. Thank you all for the new beginnings filled with hope, positivity, and pure energy. Thank you, and namaste everyone.